Hello everybody, Jet here, and welcome back to my Beastmen campaign. Now we are just pushing on to the last few little dwarf holds here, and we're going to finish them off. Just got a little bit of levelling up to do first, and let's have a look at this guy. No, we are going... Oh no, I want to up training fully, so that buffs up my troops. So this guy's all on his own up here. I don't really want to annoy the vampires if my guys are on their own, so he's going to start... what's going to be the fastest way for him to get back down? This is the question. So he's going to start bouncing through here to get back down to the other army. And once we've finished off the dwarfs, we're going to go hunting for the remainder of Britonia. A little bit more levelling up here. We've obviously been pushing up these. So let's see. Ammunition for Cygor units and reload reduction for Cygors. That's very, very good actually. So that will really help buff up our Cygors in these armies so they can keep throwing faster and faster and faster. Right, and I think we are at our end turn here, so we're getting into this quite nicely. As I said, I think we're nearly ready for the final battle against man. It's not going to be long, that's for sure. Once we finish off the dwarves and finish off Britonia, we'll do it. So this horde here is going to start pushing its way back up the coast and start clearing through the remainder of the human territories here. If this other horde finishes off Britonia, we'll actually jump over to Ulfwan and have a play through whoever is there, because I don't think it's the High Elves anymore. I don't think the main High Elf faction is in existence. Now Telic is, so the Law Masters are, so it's possible that it's the Law Masters there, but we'll see. Oh, we do have a Dwarven rogue army here, so that could be interesting. I have at one point here seen an army with dwarves and orcs in it, which doesn't quite fit the lore to me. But you know, I'm not going to be really anti the Creative Assembly guys having a bit of a fun play and bit of fun with the lore. I know there's a few people making mods to allow you to play some of the rogue armies and add horde mechanics to some other factions as well. So at some point I might well have to play one of those, because they could be very fun actually to do. We'll have to see how Krokgar does there, pressing up against the vampires, because that could potentially be quite a major war. Because certainly Krokgar is powerful, even though he's small. He has very powerful armies. The Lizardmen are they're one of my favourite factions to play with at the moment. They are very, very powerful. I will be doing another one at some point, though not anytime soon, because I am currently doing one. At some point I'm also going to be doing a dwarf playthrough, but I'm not in any rush to do that. My actual offline playthrough, my lunchtime playthroughs through at work, because I can play on my computer at work, is actually a second Lizardman campaign. That's how much I'm enjoying them. Was that a dwarf? Oh no, it is just the High Elves again. I thought it was a hammer rather than a... Right, let us go burn here. Another nice easy. And let's raise and loot. And you can beast path up here. You? Where are you? It's painful hanging around here with all this vampiric corruption. So, the dwarfs are not dead. They still have somewhere left, which could be... Can I be cheaty and work out where they are? Right up here. The dwarfs have a territory right up here in the north. So actually, we need to start heading for that. Oh, maybe they don't. I don't know where those last dwarf faction is. where the remainder of the dwarfs are. That's infuriating. So the dwarfs have managed to evade me. They could still have some little holds up in these mountains actually as well. So we're going to look up north and wander around and check for Bretonia up here as well. And we're going to move our other army up through here. And again start checking. We might have to start raiding through the vampire territory though, which could cause some very hostile damage. Ah, so the dwarfs are there. They just had an army about and they've just resettled. They're not going to last long against the vampires. I would prefer to be the person who destroys the dwarfs, but if I'm not going to really complain about the fact that somebody else finishes them off. Okay, so the vampires and the lizardmen are now at war with each other as well. So that's going to be a good old war. I think that'll be quite brutal there, actually. Chaos do still seem to be pressuring in, and again, Bretonia are taking advantage of this. So I'm gonna clear my way up. These guys are actually going to reassemble and head this way then, towards the remains of Bretonia, and they're just going to jump through the vampires and link up with those chaos hordes. At which point I'm not so bothered if I end up at war with them if I'm with the chaos hordes, because I can use the chaos hordes to actually help me burn through them, because they are, while they're not as powerful as the vampires are fighting on a lot of fronts. So actually so if I'm pushing with around where the chaos hordes are, that's just going to benefit both sides, and we'll really be able to start pressuring against them there and ripping through them. But I do want to send some people elsewhere into the world, just to have a little bit of a fun, explore, get to know bits of a map we've not seen. So I'd like to go. So we'll go through Ulfwan, and we'll probably burn our way down into Lustria as well, and just to have a look over there. So I think Lustria is basically an alliance of lizardmen nations, because we've got all of these little factions which are still alive over there. So I think it's just an alliance of all their factions. There was that Clan Pestilence was Clan Pestilence still there, I think. So they might still be alive as well, which will be interesting. And here's just a whole range of people who are all enemies with each other. That horrible person assaulting my unit. I mean, it's just mean of him. Right. I do apologise for my really bad jokes, by the way, guys. I don't actually think my jokes are good. I know they're really not. Right, so you two can actually start heading this way. And we are definitely staying in the Beast Pass, because this place is a little bit corrupt and grotty and icky and full of vampiric corruption. Okay, and turn again, guys. As I said, this is the thing I always find. Yeah, you're not getting a non-aggression pack, mate. I might need to raid you. I might need to just engage and rip out your centre. I could theoretically just go to war with them here and rip out their centre, but I want to take on Bretonia first. And while I'd rip out their centre, they would send armies back to me, and they're actually getting weaker. So the vampires are actually beginning to become weaker. Now, I have a feeling they're going to start shepherding my armies through their territory, which I can't say I blame them to do. That's what I would be doing if I was them, because that's two fairly scary armies, and I could cause a lot of damage through their territory. And having only one army to shepherd me is not particularly sensible of them. I have more. So we're clearing this coast nicely now. We're going to burn up here, finish off the last of the elven settlements. And then we'll jump across over to here, and then once we've cleared this, assuming our other guys get Bretonia, as I keep saying, Ulfwan or bust. So Nagarond, I've got a feeling Nagarond and the Cult of Pleasure are who I will find in Ulthuan. I might find some Bretonnian outposts. But we shall have to see. Oh, there's some Chaos Hordes there. Dwarfs are still holding on, so I might actually have to send up someone over to deal with the dwarfs there. But again, I don't think they're going to last long, if I'm honest. I'm still surprised the Skaven are actually managing to hold on a moment. So yeah, we do have Clan however I pronounce that, who are the other Skaven clan, and they will be over in Lustria somewhere, and I'm a bit surprised they've held on with how powerful some of the other guys are. But again, it could very much be that there's some little ruin somewhere which nobody's bothered going near. Because the AI isn't the best people at... Ooh. The AI is not the best at dealing with people. Sorry, resettling places. Here we go. We're going to take a couple of turns to regen after this, assuming we don't get anything good from the moon. Let's have a look now. Yes, I've lost a couple of units. I'm going to need to just do a little bit of regenning. I should have hit it with my other horde. Let's just keep bouncing through their territory. This is where the strategic view becomes more useful. So basically, we're just charging over here to this bit of Bretonnia. We're gonna burn this stat. We're gonna smash here and work out if there's any other clusters of Bretonnia around here. If there are, we'll be dealing with them. At which point we'll come back this way if these guys haven't got there first. So once we've cleared here, we're gonna jump across the sea here and start burning our way around this coast. Obviously, these guys need a couple of, at least one turn, if not two, to just get themselves back up to full strength. That Bray herd is burning through, going through that vampiric territory. It's not the friendliest territory for them to be going through. But I don't know why they're not using the beast paths like me, where they wouldn't be taking that attrition. That would probably be a much more sensible option for them. But you know, I don't think beastmen are known for their intelligence. Okay, so here they go. And that's another dwarf place gone. The dwarfs have been destroyed now, guys. So there are no dwarfs left. The vampires have taken over their last territory. So I'm fairly sure there are still lots of dwarfs alive. They're just under vampire rule. Because the thing with the vampire counts is, while in this all of their units are undead, I believe in Warhammer lore, they are not everybody's undead. Because if everybody's undead, you know, the vampires wouldn't necessarily last long either. So I think what actually happens is, how it actually works is, yeah, they've got a peasantry in their areas who they rule over, and obviously they have lots of undead armies and things, and I believe they also have some human levies effectively. In fact, I believe in the actual Warhammer game, correct me if I'm wrong, I do believe they can have levy archers, which aren't particularly good, however. And the Skaven are fighting back. They are not out yet. I think yet is the operative word. The Jagged Horn tribe is still doing its thing over there. Unfortunately, I do seem to spend more time in end turns at the moment. Everything is sped up to fastest, but I do seem to spend more time in end turns at the moment than we do on our actual turn. I don't think that little Chaos faction is going to last much longer. I do want to try and link up with the Warriors of Chaos, because they are my natural allies. Okay, so... I don't mind losing a bit of horde growth at the moment, so... Right. Let's just go straight into Gauls. I don't want to spend multiple turns making things, basically. I will probably yoink some stuff from the other army when we come to our to the very end game. Ooh. Let's push down the Chaos Tree. I will eventually be able to get another Lord that way. We are slowly working our way across the remains of the Empire. The fallen Empire, where the Empire used to be here. Which is now just covered. I mean, look at this landscape. It's just covered in vampiric corruption. However, there are still some nice areas in here. Some being the operative word. You know, there's some areas which aren't completely covered in vampiric corruption there. Though slowly the world is being covered in vampiric corruption. I said there's a few vestiges of nice areas, and there's a load of Skaven corruption in the middle here. It's down here in the jungles of the Southlands where Crockgars come from. There will still be some nice, pretty territory, but even up here where they're pushing in, they're dealing with quite a lot of corruption. I know there's probably quite a lot of overspill because it does spread from territory to territory, I believe. So yeah, so I don't think, yeah, I think that they will probably be having to deal with quite a lot of corruption in their territories, which means they'll probably get quite a lot of uprisings. That is one thing which does become quite tricky about playing as vampires, because actually you don't want to be expanding too far out of your area, the areas you've got lots of corruption in already. Though we'll see, because it's not terrible to have, you know, you can push outside of your corruption, but it's always taking a risk doing so. Wow, Skaven do really seem to be making a little bit of a comeback there. I don't think it's going to be long-lived, but good on them. You know, they're a little bit of an underdog at the moment. I am not taking that with you. Oh, but the Skaven are friends with these guys as well, so actually between them, they're probably fighting quite hard against the Lizardmen. I don't know if the Skaven are at war with the vampire counts, so... They will eventually settle somewhere. Rogue armies do eventually settle. If you've been watching my Dark Elves campaign, you'll actually see that, because I've got a settled rogue army faction right next to me that I think they've been burnt out of here, but I'm going to still keep looking. And the Bretonnians are expanding a little bit there. Right, it's time, and we have a settled faction here. And this is an odd faction, so that's giants, trolls, an orc, and Cygors. Right, I think we've got all our spells done here, so yeah, so you can start getting these things. Okay. So soon Bretonnia will fall, and once Bretonnia has fallen, we will fight the final battle against man, and we will finish off man, and then it's time for fun in this campaign. Then it's time to start doing silly things, because I've completed the actual campaign goals, so I can throw myself into silly things, get some nice big battles, and potentially get myself wiped out. I mean, the plan isn't going to be, you know, is going to be basically just to do silly things until I get myself, you know, get some really good battles in interesting places and explore the map a bit. But it's not going to be to stay alive necessarily. Okay. Gilgallion is trying to get behind me. Hexalotl are still over the sea somewhere. I never quite get this. I say that. Sometimes the AI seems to put a huge amount of heroes into armies, and I only ever really do 2 or 3. I do like having heroes in armies, don't get me wrong, but I find if you've got too many... Well, I say that. An army full of... an army of just Saurus warriors on Carnosaurs would be quite terrifying, but yeah, that's an oddity. It would also be quite expensive to run, so... but a full dinosaur army of further Lizardmen would be quite scary. And in my Lizardman campaign, I've got a few armies which are getting that way. You know, they've got 5 or 6. You know, they're not getting quite that way, but they are very powerful. You know, they've got a lot of heavy dinosaurs in them. Because the really big Lizardmen dinosaurs seem to not suffer too badly. While anti-large does do damage to them, they just smash the formations. Nope, not happening. They're actually starting to like me. What? Having smashed them repeatedly. Ah, the Warriors of Chaos.
Your abasement pleases me.
We will take a non-aggression pact with them. Oh, we already... Let's grab the Skull Reef, not that I really need it, but a bit of money's always nice. Especially at the moment when I'm just spending. I'm spending and spending and spending. And I'm not really gaining any cash at the moment while I'm moving through all of this territory. However, now I've linked up with Chaos, I'm going to go find the rest of Bretonnia, finish them off, and then we will probably try and link up with Chaos. Though, here I could just turn on the vampires and just start burning through their territory with Chaos. With the Chaos armies following me. And some of these guys will be quite powerful, though they just... Yeah, you see, they just got knocked away by that small Chaos army, and that's how powerful some of the Chaos troops are. At some point I will also do a Chaos campaign, but that's not something I'm planning on doing soon, because Chaos are very hard to play. I have a feeling this is the last little bit of Bretonnia, so we're going to push down to here, to smash here, then work our way up. If that doesn't finish them off, we'll just work our way up, because that will mean there will be some enclaves around there. So actually, with how stretched the vampires are, the Last Defenders might actually be in a really good position to start pressuring into them again. Pressuring into them properly and capturing lots of territory off them. Especially, you know, as they're a bit weaker around here, they're not as built up with their defences, and I'm not seeing many armies around here at the moment. The big issue is they have to try and get through the Skaven, which I think the Skaven are just managing to hold on simply because everybody else is fighting around them, and they don't necessarily know they've got the settlements. Okay. I can't believe Clan Septic is still alive, especially with all of the other factions over there, which either means they're fairly powerful or they're just hiding in one tiny little hole somewhere. Okay, we're nearly done. Back on land. Right. Nearly there, guys. So this has been a bit of a movement campaign rather than an attacking campaign. Sorry, this has been a bit of a moving session rather than an attacking session. We've had a few sieges down south, but finishing off the last, finishing off the the bits of the elves which came over, though I dare say they'll be back at some point. And now we're going to be back smashing through the remaining human areas. Human controlled areas. I guess vampires are human to an extent, but yeah. And we're going back into the forests of Athel-Loren soon to finish off Bretonnia, who have been forced to hide in the high elves, in the wood elves' old haunts. King Leon, look at, oh, they've got some armies there. They're not going to last. So they have places up here still then. So actually we will start focusing in and working our way up. To hit there, they must have places up. To get there, they must have places up here. So potentially they've still got a few territories around the top here. And again, as I said, potentially they have some Nausicaan territories. And I have seen them in a couple of other people's campaigns, actually in Ulthuan as well. So but they're not I know full well they're not powerful, so they don't have too much territory. Wow, the Skaven are actually fighting back here. Maybe I wrote them off too soon. Though then again, the Lizardmen armies did take a bit of the pounding from the vampires, which we saw. So, these things do happen and things do change. You do have a lot of back and forth, right? Surprised Silverhost didn't try and ally with me again. They generally do. This little Chaos Horde, they are not long for this world. They're just trying to stay out of the way at the moment. I really do want to catch who these guys are. I know what these guys are. These guys will be a Wood Elfy faction somewhere. Right, Mr. Bretonian, you can meet my horde.
Sigmar forbids this. Malagor Rafkarud.
And on to shore we come. Okay, guys, and we are going to end this one here with us going to start engaging heavily again next turn. We're going to smash these guys as well. We're going to have a little look up here to see if there's anything left. If not, we're going to push down and we will be finishing off, ideally finishing off Bretonnia, who are expanding again next session, guys. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it.